What is going on YouTube? Welcome back to another video. Today we have an end of an era. This is the last video you guys are going to see of the 10-gallon JBJ Nano Reef tank. So as you guys see from the thumbnail, I'm not going to hold you to it. We got a new tank over there, which I'll adjust the settings and show you guys the new tank here in a minute. But I wanted to kind of just give like a nice little ending recap of this tank so we can kind of have something to look back on, address it later, and just kind of have those memories for us. So let's go ahead and take a look. Alright, so we're going to say bye to this tank. You guys can come back and check out the couple of videos that I have set up on it. Honestly, we could definitely recreate something like this once I move into the new house. It's a 10-gallon cube. It's pretty easy to set up. I have it aquascaped in just this little arch, which we'll talk about with a new tank in a minute because I'm doing the exact aquascape just ×2. So I'll explain that in a little bit. But yeah, pretty easy setup to recreate. I've got very basic equipment on here, and like I said, the aquascape is pretty easy to set up. It's more of the coral placement that I'm gonna miss, especially the green star polyps and this leather colony all clumped together. It makes it look really, really good. It makes it stand out, so I'm gonna miss that, but let's go ahead and jump over to the new tank. Alright, so I know it looks much more dull over here, but this is the new setup. It's an Innovative Marine 20-gallon Nuvo Pro. So it is 24 inches by 15 front to back by 13 high. It's a very basic standard setup, but of course it's an Innovative Marine, so it's rimless, black silicone, nice filtration all in one in the back. If you guys also saw the videos that started out this channel were an Innovative Marine 30 long, so it's essentially a 10-gallon cube attached to this. And ever since I sold that tank for the 66-gallon SCA, I've regretted it every single day. I miss that tank, I miss how it was set up, so that's exactly how we're gonna set up this 20-gallon. I am making sure to take my time and do everything perfectly right. So I'm gonna break all that down here in a minute, but to recreate the 30-gallon that I had, I wanna get the same exact cooling and heating that I had set up with a 30-gallon. So we've got the fans, I've got a thermostat down there, which I'll show you guys, and then of course we've got the cobalt heater that we're gonna take off of this tank. So all the equipment that's on this tank, we're gonna be putting onto this. So the Smart Micro ATO, the cobalt heater, the Aquanite. We've got a second Aquanite supposed to be coming today from Amazon. So we'll have about 60 watts of lighting on top. But yeah, so this tank's gonna be pretty much suited up with everything that we had on the pre-existing 30-gallon long. Now, in terms of equipment that we're gonna be using that's not on the 10-gallon, of course, we've got the dual fans. I'm hoping we can set up an Aquanite on each side of the fans and still have enough space to put the two in the back. I pretty much want to have everything on the back side, which is how I had my 66-gallon setup. So no power heads or anything on the side glasses, just everything on the back. We'll see if we can get the flow dialed in to make that happen. If so, if I have to put maybe like a narrow 3 on the side or a surface skimmer or something, it won't be that big of a deal, but I mostly want everything, especially the fans and the lighting, to be on the back. Down below here, we've got our thermostat, so we'll plug in, of course, our fans to the cooling side and our cobalt heater to the heating side. We've got a nice new timer. I want to go and get a nice power strip, maybe something that I can connect to my phone. And then we've got the Mighty Jet, which I didn't know was controllable, but it is a controllable pump from Innovative Marine, so that came with the tank. And then this is the power strip for something, I forget what that's for. I think that might be for the return pump as well. So we've got all that equipment down there with everything coming from this tank and then a second Aquanite coming in the mail. Now that we've got all the equipment run down, let's go ahead and talk about what I've done to ensure that this tank is gonna work correctly. So a big reason why I wanted to upgrade from the 10-gallon is because flow. I didn't have enough flow, or I still don't have enough flow in the 10-gallon, and it's really hard to adjust flow in such a small body of water. So I'm hoping with the 20-gallon we'll be able to set up a power head on one side, a surface skimmer on the other side, and of course have the return nozzles pushing water on the surface, getting that nice surface agitation. So that's one thing that we need to get dialed in, and I'm hoping I can get really adjusted in this tank is flow. We're also going to be looking at the aquascape a little bit differently because in this tank, as you guys can see, we do have the arch, which we're sticking with, but there's no flow pushing behind the rock. So there's flow coming across the front of the rock, which there's really not that much dead space or negative space, but in the back there's a ton of negative space that gets no flow, so that's really bad. Now in this tank, we do have an arch set up on the right side, and as you guys can see, there's still a tunnel behind, but it's not as large. We're still gonna be placing a power head to be pushing water across the back, and I'm hoping the return nozzles are gonna push water on the front of the glass and of course the front of the tank. That's the plan for flow. We're pretty much gonna try and take this exact aquascape setup and put it on the left side here. So we have two arches making kind of like a nice little lagoon style, but I think it'll be set up good enough for flow, lighting, and of course coral placement. Aside from that, I know it sounds very basic, but I made sure to level the stand, made sure to level the tank. We made sure that there was exact spacing on each side of the stand so that it's, of course, even. So yeah, I made sure everything was perfectly, I guess, kind of set up and easy so that if we have to ever change anything or kind of move anything in the future, it's doable. Of course, I want to get that power strip, like I said, and label and have a really good cord management. That's something I really want to take serious on this aquarium. I made sure to put the stand a few inches away from the back wall, and of course we have our outlets there. Inside on the aquascape, since the tank is dry right now, I was able to glue all my rock together with some putty. That's something I've never been able to do before because I've really never set up a tank dry. So being able to glue and I guess putty the rock together into one makes it feel much more safe in that it won't fall over in the future. Of course, we're gonna have some coralline algae grow over that because you can kind of see the glue or the putty in a couple spots, but that is okay. I know it looks kind of weird on camera because of the glare, but I promise the aquascape looks a lot better in person. So yeah, not sure why it's not focusing. There we go. Yeah, it looks a little bit better now that there's no glare, but so that is pretty much it. I just wanted to give you guys a quick rundown on the new setup before I get it wet. You know, it's pretty hard to get the whole process on camera, especially when you've got another tank set up. You can't really move as slowly as you want to. I'm not in a rush to break this tank down, but I would like to get my desk set up before school and everything, so I do want to get this thing going, but it is nice to kind of slow down a little bit, be able to glue the rocks and do a couple other precautionary things before we get the tank set up. So we're going to be getting it wet today. I'm going to be throwing in some salt water, getting the tank mixed up and up to temperature so that we can throw everything from this tank into here and get it going. With all that being said, I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. If you guys have any questions or comments, please comment down below or DM me. My Instagram is in the link in the description below. But yeah, that's gonna be it for this 10-gallon JBJ tank. If you guys wanna see other videos and photos on this tank, be sure to check out my Instagram as well. I won't be deleting anything on there so we can remember this tank as it was. With all that being said, I'll catch you guys on the next one. Peace out.